Hey folks, welcome to the show where we talk endlessly about a topic in gaming like an anxiety-ridden partygoer who just wants to pet the host's dog. Today our topic is virtual reality. You know, that thing that has your Uncle Billy convinced that we are just one step closer to being in the Matrix. Before we jump into our main topic of virtual reality, we wanted to talk about a, well, different kind of virtual reality. A mixed reality. Mixed reality sounds like a generous description of that one night in college where you ate half a bag of shrooms and you spent 3 hours talking to your neighbor's dog. It's a little more complicated than that. As we'll discuss later on, there are a lot of companies working on various aspects of virtual reality. But when it comes to wearable mixed reality tech, there's really only one developer on the scene. Meet Magic Leap, the shadowy tech company of your dreams, or nightmares, depending on your relationship with the NSA. Unlike most tech companies that are located in Silicon Valley and over-explain why their new app is going to #change the hashtag industry, Magic Leap only recently let press anywhere near their facility or their product. Also, their facility is located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, a suburban town that quite literally elected an alligator as their mayor in 2014. Don't look it up, just trust us. Whereas most virtual reality headsets obstruct your vision, Magic Leap's mixed reality goggles are semi-transparent. This opens the door to games that interact with your surroundings, surfing the internet with your entire body, pretty much everything you've seen someone do with a computer in Star Wars, except for cutting someone in half with a laser. That's still an alpha. Actually, the reason why we're going to spend the rest of the show goofing on virtual reality sets like the Oculus Rift is that the Magic Leap promises to be so innovative, so game-changing to the VR scene that it doesn't even have a release date yet. Not even a whiff on when the market can get their hands on a test version. Sure, they let a few journalists get their hands on it in Fort Lauderdale, but they were all mysteriously eaten by alligators after they posted their stories. So we're gonna have to wait and see what the Magic Leap has to offer at a unspecific time in the future. This brings us to our main subject, VR, virtual reality. That thing you spent $1,000 on to play that 5-minute Star Wars demo. So far, the talk surrounding virtual reality has been mainly about video games, and for good reason. Developers have flocked to the technology to create games that are sure to nauseate you. Sure, you can play Adrift on your PC, but where's the fun in not puking on your carpet? Even the arms race between the headset makers feels like an old-school console war, forcing the consumers to pick which system resembles their favorite Daft Punk member. As for gaming, the Rift and Vive are kind of the VR Ataris. They're cool and flashy now, but in 15 years our kids are really gonna make fun of us for it. In an interview with Popular Science, Jason Rubin, the head of Oculus's first-party content team Worldwide Studios, explained that gaming is more of an excuse to get the Rift into everyone's house. Quote, "We believe that VR is going to be in everything. But to start, we're focusing on entertainment, because entertainment is a reason to bring a device into their home. Once it's in their home, people will figure out what to do for it." Essentially, the Rift is a Trojan horse meant to trick you into changing the world. Look, I know you want to be playing Lucky's Tale right now, but the future isn't going to change itself. So today we're going to be talking about other uses for VR, and no, we're not going to be talking about VR porn. Since VR has hit markets, we've already seen pretty innovative apps. Take the IKEA VR experience, for example. This free download puts you inside a model IKEA kitchen and lets you walk around it like a showroom. It's basically like going to an IKEA without having to get dumped by your significant other. In addition to just walking around, you can swap finishes on surfaces and even switch to child height to see how the room would look to a child. The app has even been updated since its release, adding better frying pan handling and meatballs. Yes, seriously. Some poor developer probably spent days slaving away designing digital meatballs so you can pretend to pick them up. It may be somewhat of a gaudy advertisement, but there's undoubtedly some potential in there. Imagine having the ability to walk around a full model of your house, where you could furnish it on the fly rather than guess how it would look. That would seriously change the way we handle home decorating. Look, this isn't going to win a Nobel Prize or anything, but frankly, anything that gets us out of an IKEA trip definitely deserves an award. But if that isn't life-changing enough for you, let's go a little deeper into this. Get really down into the guts. Literally, because surgery may be getting a VR overhaul. Back in 2014, a group of scientists and surgeons got together to film a full surgery that could be watched on the Oculus Rift. And if you're asking yourself, who would watch something like that? Well, the answer is surgeons, because, you know, before they actually get their hands inside of you, they need to know exactly what's inside of you. That usually meant baby surgeons would go to real surgeries to watch the adult surgeons operate, and since forever that's been the best way to learn. But this project takes this idea to the next level, allowing students to get a first-person perspective on the surgery. And yes, you could watch this on a YouTube video or something, but consider the next step. This could lead to a full-on simulation where surgeons will use the Oculus touch controls to play a very expensive game of operation. Look, just don't be surprised if your surgeon says, "Hang on, I need to recalibrate my scalpel during your next surgery." That's great for surgeons, but what about your average person that you want nowhere near your intestines? What kind of world-changing experiences can they expect from VR? Well, how does solitary confinement sound? Because that's exactly what The Guardian has in mind. The British news source recently created their first VR experience, which plops you inside a 6x9 solitary confinement cell, which sounds about as pleasant as the IKEA experience. The app functions as sort of a news feature containing text and narration explaining the quote, "psychological damage can ensue from isolation." Now, this is simply a smartphone app that's meant to be viewed on one of those poor man's cardboard box viewers. In fact, you can just interact with the whole video on YouTube. And that begs the question, is watching something like this on a headset any different? That's certainly debatable, but there's no question that a static video isn't as immersive as VR. And immersion is key here, because when you strap on something like a Rift, you truly do feel like you've transported to a new place. And a lot of people may just want to use that to travel to fun and fantastical places. But The Guardian challenges that idea with this project. Instead of taking you to an imaginary world, they're dropping you into a real-life experience that most of us probably will never have the misfortune to see. Something like this could lead to more informed discussions about America's prison system and perhaps reform. It might not sound flashy or exciting on paper, but apps like this are essential for the growth of this technology. There's still a lot of questions about VR, such as how far can this technology be pushed, and oh dear god, what did I just knock over in my living room? But judging on what's been created in the technology's infancy, the possibilities seem limitless. Especially if you consider the innovation happening in VR porn. I know we're not going to talk about it, you can look it up on your own, but if we took half that effort, imagine what we could achieve. Until then, do your roommate a favor and put a sock on that door. And that's it for the show. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and follow for more content like this. And now, your play of the day.